According to the World Population Review, with an estimated population of about 8.5 million people, New York City is the largest city in the United States. New York City is split into 5 separate districts: the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and Manhattan. The city is among the highest in population density per square mile and is approximately 42% white, 24% African American, and 14% Asian. Despite the large presence of white Americans, there are as many as 800 languages spoken in New York City, reflecting its diversity with regard to linguistics. Being one of the largest cities in the United States, New York City also has a huge influence not only on the world's economy, but also entertainment, education, art, and technology as a center for commerce and culture. The City of New York recognized their need to become a more sustainable city back in 2007 when the mayor, Michael Bloomberg, first released Plan New York City, a sustainability plan with 127 initiatives with a mission to improve infrastructure, the environment, and the quality of life for people living in the city. Since then, the city has had great success in implementing legislation regarding things like green buildings, clean air, and investments of billions of dollars to protect water supply and install bike lanes. The city expanded on these goals by later releasing their sustainability plan in 2015, known as One New York, the plan for a strong and just city, with the goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by 2050. According to New York City's current sustainability plan, the goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions makes New York one of the only large cities to make such a commitment. Its vision is to continue to be the world's most dynamic urban economy, with improvements towards housing, transportation, neighborhoods, and infrastructure planning. The current plan also has a mission to continue to be one of the world's most sustainable cities, investing in programs and passing legislation that reduces greenhouse gas emissions, commits to zero waste, improves air quality, maintains water management, and preserves natural resources. According to One NYC, the first step in the sustainability plan among the 5 boroughs of the city is to bring together the government at every level, including neighborhood organizations and the private sector. Those involved in keeping New York City a sustainable city lies between the City Council, the Mayor's Office, and civic engagement to encourage and enforce the adoption of the plan's programs and principles. The City of New York has tons of plans for its social and economic sustainability, all consolidated in One NYC. In this 4-part vision, the city intends to transform into the strong city of its dreams by addressing all aspects of life. As a resident, you can rest assured that this city is always looking out for your best interests. According to the One NYC Sustainability Plan found on the official NYC government website, these are the main statements of each vision. Number 1. New York City will continue to be the world's most dynamic urban economy where families, businesses, and neighborhoods thrive. Number 2. New York City will have an inclusive, equitable economy that offers well-paying jobs and opportunity for all to live with dignity and security. Number 3. New York City will be the most sustainable big city in the world and a global leader in the fight against climate change. And lastly, our neighborhoods, economy, and public services are ready to withstand and emerge stronger from the impacts of climate change and other 21st century threats. As seen in the transportation section of One NYC's visions, the city plans to improve and expand their public transit system so that it can better support the increasing number of residents within the city. This serves social sustainability of the city by providing better access to transportation and better quality of transportation throughout the city. Many residents count the congestion on the roads to be a negative aspect of New York City, but this will no longer be such a large issue. In order to benefit both social and economic sustainability of the city, One NYC's Vision 1 aims to educate and train New Yorkers to be better equipped for high-growth industries. As a social initiative, this vision allows for residents to have access to tools they need to climb social class ladders. As an economic initiative, this vision allows residents to become prepared and experienced in the skills they need to succeed in the workforce, boosting the economic strength of the city as a whole. Vision 1's Industry Expansion and Cultivation Initiative 3 intends to improve economic mobility and create a pathway to the middle class by cultivating an environment in which small businesses can succeed. Over the past 2 years in New York City, small businesses have grown faster than larger businesses, so this would benefit all levels of the city's economic status. This plan even goes as far to protect you inside your own homes. In Vision 2's Healthy Neighborhoods Active Living Plan, the city supports residents through food accessibility initiatives and addresses in-home health hazards such as asthma triggers and elder-proofing. This social sustainability plan is in place to ensure New York City residents are both happy and healthy. This is a city that truly cares about the residents. The New York City plan has multiple environmentally sustainable initiatives lined up for implementation. According to One NYC, the overall goal of New York City is to become the most sustainable big city in the world and a global leader in the fight against climate change. The main goal is to maximize sustainability, which means doing all they can today for the sake of the future. They have multiple goals in place, with the earliest deadline of 2030, all of which are focused on the major goal called 80 by 50. This first goal is called 80 by 50 because the City of New York will strive to reduce overall greenhouse gas emissions by 80% of what they were in 2005 by the year 2050. According to the One New York Sustainability Plan, 80 by 50 was a set goal in 2014 when the city's emissions had already been reduced by 19% of what they were in 2005. And there is a milestone set for 2030 when the city wants to have reduced emissions by 30%. So far, the majority of the reductions have taken place by using natural gas instead of oil or coal. According to the sustainability plan, the major sectors targeted for change are buildings, power, transportation, and solid waste. The second goal pointed out in the One New York City plan is that New York City will send zero waste to landfills by the year 2030. Out of all waste generated every day, only a percentage of this is recycled in some fashion, and the goal is to completely eradicate any sort of non-recyclable waste. Since 2005, emissions from waste have decreased by 22%, but in order to reach the 80 by 50 goal, that percent will have to be drastically increased. Along with the physical act of waste reduction, social aspects of sustainability will also be addressed, including changing behaviors through education and incentives, strengthening regulations, investing in new infrastructure, and working closely with the communities and industries that generate waste. The third goal will also be reached by 2030, and the plan is to ensure that New York City will have the best air quality out of every other large city in the United States. They attempt to do this by more closely enforcing the Air Pollution Control Code, identifying currently unknown air quality improvements, replacing old fuel boilers to gas boilers in major buildings, and the reduction of emissions from transportation vehicles. Data analysis and the general community will be used to identify any additional air quality improvements that may help all across the city, which can then be implemented to further increase progress towards the overall goal of 80 by 50. 3 other sustainability initiatives identified in the One New York City plan that do not have a solid deadline include cleaning up contaminated land in order to make lower-income communities safer and nicer, mitigating neighborhood flooding, making high-quality water resources more readily available to the general public, and implementing more open spaces that are not only useful and accessible, but are also easy on the eyes. New York City's sustainability plan is excellent and provides many achievable and impactful goals towards sustainability. There are a few things missing from this plan, one being eliminating greenwashing and another being decreasing industrial agriculture. Both of these issues threaten sustainability, but we offer solutions New York City can take to work towards sustainability. Not included in New York City's sustainability plan is a strategy to combat greenwashing. Greenwashing is harmful because misleading labels cause people to purchase products believing they are pro-environmental, when in reality they can be very detrimental. Additionally, the misleading labels have led to a certain skepticism of green labels, effectively decreasing pro-environmentalism as a whole. EHP says most people don't know what's valid and what isn't, so they disregard most of them. As EHP says, people aren't really well equipped to navigate the ecobabble, and so they end up buying products that don't have the environmental or human health performances that they expect. As a solution, the city could and should provide more resources to enable more informed green purchasing. Similar to what the group Greenpeace has done, New York could analyze advertisements and labels and put out rankings and warnings about which products are actually environmentally sustainable. The city could also implement a system of their own to combat greenwashing by using these rankings to allow only fairly labeled products to be sold. The proposal also lacks a solid plan to reduce the reliance on industrial agriculture and encourage more sustainable agriculture as they should. There are many harms of industrial agriculture compared to sustainable ag, like the much greater chemical runoff, pollution, and forcing smaller farms out, which leads to many problems. Economically, because it uses less expensive equipment and reduced travel to deliver the food, local food is more sustainable. There are social benefits as well. Cranzi and others point out the importance of community gardens in providing leadership, landscape design, and organizing experience for community members in their paper about Latino community gardens in New York City. They explain how these experiences sometimes spill over into other aspects of civic life and indicate that these benefits are not unique to Latino gardens. Because of its benefits and role in sustainability across all three pillars, purchasing local and organic foods should be encouraged by increasing taxes on foods produced through industrial agriculture or providing tax breaks to those who try to buy local food and organic products. New York City is trying to change the world by being a sustainable example for all other cities to follow. With their vision to mitigate the effects of climate change and enhance all social and economic aspects for their citizens, moving to this city would be the best choice for anyone looking for a new place to call home.